So I saw grumblings of this late last night and I wasn't sure what was going on. And I woke up this morning and I see tons of people fearful of the future of preservation for PlayStation gaming. So, as reported by Video Game Chronicle, the new PS5's optional disk drive requires an internet connection to connect. Is this going to be a problem? That's what I posed to you guys. Is this going to be a problem for everyone? Because I think for most people, it's not going to be an issue at all, at least not to begin with. But there is a concern that I have that possibly way far in the future, this could be a potential issue. So, as you know, we've talked about this recently. These new PlayStation 5s are going to be coming out where you can get one with a drive or not with a drive, but you could buy a drive later and add to it. That little thing that they show there, that whole thing that connects. So it's kind of a neat way that they're doing this where you can add on if you want later on. If you just get a digital system, you decide, you know what? I'm finding some physical games on the cheap and it's beating these digital deals. Like, let me get this drive and boom, you can add one. I think it was like $80. I'll double check on that. But, I understand the concern of Sony and all these other companies as far as like piracy and stuff like that, or swapping non-conforming components. Like they want you to use just their stuff. Like this isn't a PC and that there's a bunch of different components you could buy from different manufacturers. Sony wants you to just use what they provide. I get that, but to me it seems weird that you plug in a hard drive, or not a hard drive, a disk drive, and you have to have an internet connection in order to use it. That seems weird. So let's take a quick look at this article. So they stated, spotted on the back of the upcoming Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Slim Bundle, small prints confirms that players who purchase the new model with the optional drive will be required to connect to the internet when pairing it to a machine for the first time. It's likely that this is a security measure in order to ensure the drive is legitimate one, not a third party. However, has raised some preservation concerns. I don't really understand, like everything's not, like to me, not a preservation concern. It's more of like the ability to use your own equipment concern, because this doesn't put into question that video games won't be preserved. It just puts in the question, like, what is the life of this device in the far distant future? Say the servers are closed down. I never like where you have to have that handshake with the server in order to use something. And I think this is like a one-time thing. So that's why I say it's not going to be an issue for a lot of people, especially people who are just going to buy their system and play it for the time being and then move on when a new system comes out. Those people are not going to be affected. Most people will not. It's when the PlayStation 10 is out and you want to go back to your PS5 and for some reason they've shut down the servers or the servers don't work and you can't use your drive. Maybe you get a new drive or something. As long as I guess it makes that handshake with the server and it's paired to your system, you're good. I don't think it's going to be a thing where it has to do it all the time or like once a week or once a month. It just, I think that initial communication to pair it to the system. But to me, that just seems weird. So here's some of the images from this Charlie Intel. I saw this pop up on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it, or somebody sharing it anyway, late last night, where it says on here somewhere, let me see, did they blow it up? I think they did blow it up. Or somebody else blew it up. That's probably what I saw. Yeah, like this person down here. Internet connection required to pair disk drive and PS5 console upon setup. That's kind of nuts, dude. Like, you have to have an internet connection. So, say you buy this system, you don't have an internet connection. I mean, hey, there's still people out there who don't. It's just the way the world works. You don't have an internet connection, you can't use your drive? Like, that's stupid. I understand, like, you buy the system, the components should all, like, say, okay, this can be an add-on thing, right? That you buy this disk drive later on and plug it into your system. Your system shouldn't need the internet to tell it, hey, this is a legit piece of equipment. We can use this. We could pair it with the system. Like, I understand that it's needed to, like, boom, let's handshake and know that this is proper equipment and it's usable. But why do you need the internet for that? I don't get that. But they say the issue appears to stem from the way that both Sony and Microsoft pair their console disk drives with their motherboard. Each disk drive has a daughter board that pairs with the console's motherboard, essentially creating a handshake unique to that specific pairing. In the article, Wired removed the disk drives from 2 launch PS5 consoles, swapped them over, but the consoles would refuse to recognize the other drive, despite them being identical hardware. That's kind of weird, too. This may be partly due to Section 1201 of the DMCA, which says it's illegal to circumvent a technological measure that effectively controls access to a copyrighted work, which in this case is the firmware on the disk drive. If you're not manipulating the firmware and it's on that little daughter board thing or whatever, the motherboard on the drive, like, it should just pair up. It shouldn't be like, oh, this is an issue with the firmware being circumvented. It's a legit hardware. Why can't it be swappable? Like, if you want to repair it. Like, to me, that kind of seems weird. And it does seem anti-consumer in a way as far as, like, repairability. Like, there's been so much with repairability. That doesn't make sense to me that you couldn't just swap drives and not have to go a roundabout way to make sure that the drives work. I understand that, you know, you can go down to Best Buy and be like, oh, I'm going to buy a disk drive and pop it in there. It's not going to work. That makes sense. But if it's a official Sony drive made for the PS5, why does there need to be any additional steps? You know what I mean? Yeah, so let's continue. As such, in order to prevent piracy, perhaps third-party repairs, Sony and Microsoft use the pairing method to ensure that each console can only work with the specific drive assigned to it, meaning users can't modify or replace the drive. Like I said, that goes against repairability. It's anti-consumer to the max, in my opinion, for any company to do that. It doesn't make any damn sense. The initial online connection requirement for external PS5 drive then may be a security check designed to verify the drive, then create the unique pairing between the drive and the console. Can somebody in the comments explain to me why they have to use an online connection to do that? And why can't it just be that they shake hands when it's connected to the system and powered on for the first time? Why does it need to be verified? Like, if somebody one-to-one clones it, which is not likely, and has all the like, why would that even be a worry? Like, if you're selling a legit piece of hardware to add on to your system, like, I don't get that, dude. If like the original PS5, you couldn't swap hard drives. It just or not hard drives, disk drives. It's early. I keep getting mixed up here. You couldn't swap disk drives. This is a step in the direction where it's like, hey, you can swap disk drives. So it's kind of like a good thing in a way. But then that extra step of it has to be verified via an online connection. It baffles me. Okay, yeah, down here it does say the Blu-ray disc drive is $79.99, so $80, like I said earlier. Very strange, man. Let me know what you guys think. I do feel like this is kind of weird and shouldn't work that way, but what do I know? I don't think it's going to be a problem for most people. It's a problem in the distant, it's a possible problem in the distant future. It's a problem for people who want this system who don't have an internet connection. And I know some people will be like, well, who doesn't have an internet connection in this day and age and is going to be buying a PS5? I don't freaking know. It's just a possibility. But let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Bye.